Yeah. From the BART train to a tour bus, still the same game except I'm pulling more sluts, more butts, more bucks, never giving.
Hey, what is up everyone? Tyler here with Secure Team. I want to do a bit of an update to these mysterious, cryptic tweets that were recently put out by WikiLeaks on their official Twitter, alluding to something called Vault 7. Now, if you watched my previous video about this that we put out yesterday, basically what we know so far is that over the past couple of weeks, WikiLeaks has been posting these very cryptic tweets, using what appear to be just your basic stock photos. Each tweet begins with either who, what, when, where, and why. And, of course, when you look at some of the pictures that were posted, for instance, one of them shows the Norwegian seed vault, which is used to store copies of all of the world's plant seeds in case of a worldwide disaster. Other photographs show a massive underground Nazi gold mine that was discovered after the war. We have a tweet featuring a jet engine, another tweet featuring a welder, what appeared to be melting a steel frame, and as we discussed in the previous video, many theories about what this mysterious Vault 7 is. Some people believe that it had something to do with secret technology. And again, these are all just stock photos, so I think they're just using them to illustrate their points and to kind of give us these hints. And so today I'm going to talk about the two most prevalent theories, and furthermore, what I believe, at least at this point, what Vault 7 actually is, and what it has to do with. So, the first theory is that this has to do with a secret file release relating to Hillary Clinton's emails. Because if you head over to the WikiLeaks website and you look under their first tweet, which features this seed vault and has the caption, "What is Vault 7?" Well, there was another tweet where they link to the actual FBI.gov website. And you're seeing that here. The caption reads, FBI quietly releases Part 6 of its Hillary Clinton investigation. Now, for those of you who don't know, the FBI released its investigation in 6 different parts. There were a total of 6. And oddly enough, the link to the FBI webpage where you can find this info is vault.fbi.gov and is known as The Vault. That's the name of it. It says, "The Vault is our new FOIA library containing 6,700 documents and other media that have been scanned from paper into digital copies so you can read them in the comfort of your home or office." So, read into that what you may. It's called The Vault, and WikiLeaks has linked to it. And so, when you hear something about Vault 7, well, that has led many to believe that WikiLeaks has obtained a 7th part to what was supposed to be a 6-part series that maybe the FBI did not release, or that the FBI doesn't have to begin with. So we could potentially be looking at a 7th release of previously unpublic files that may hold some very damaging information about Hillary Clinton. And so that's kind of where the whole Clinton theory comes from. But as I've been researching this over the past week, from everything I've seen in these tweets, and, you know, what appears to be a pretty solid opinion amongst a majority of people who have looked at this, it's really starting to look like this very well may be something related to the 9/11 Trade Center attacks. And I'll go through these tweets and show you how they very eerily connect. So let's start off with the first tweet here. What is Vault 7? And it shows this picture of the Norwegian seed vault, which, remember, was specifically created to hold backup copies of different seeds from around the world. And it's been pointed out that this seed vault may be a metaphor for WikiLeaks, which, as you know, is also sort of like you would call a vault that also holds and has released copies of stored documents that have been given to them by hackers, whistleblowers, and so on. So you could think of WikiLeaks as its own vault that is also storing backup copies of documents. So then we go to this tweet here, where is Vault 7, showing this picture of this underground Nazi gold mine that was filled with all of the riches of the world. And as I previously mentioned in my last video, there is this long-held theory that there was a cache of gold hidden under either all or one of the World Trade Center towers. Now, I don't know whether that's true or not, but there's another theory as to what this Nazi gold mine could be alluding to. And this was actually put forth in a video that was posted on a website called ForbiddenKnowledgeTV.net. And it goes into detail about how they believe that this Vault 7 definitely involves 9/11 data stolen from the Pentagon, and that it contains information about who is behind the World Trade Center attacks. It's said that this Nazi gold mine relates to the fact that all of the largest worldwide banks around the world were given foreknowledge of the 9/11 attacks, which enabled them to front-run the stock market. In addition, these entities embezzled and stole up to $5 trillion worth of black budget and dirty money within the SWIFT code transaction processing system that went haywire during the chaos of the World Trade Center attacks. Now, where exactly these banks put that money is a matter of speculation. And when you actually look into some of these investment banks and some of the very, very strange investments that were being made just the day before, it really does give you the impression that some of these banks, including the owner of the World Trade Center itself, had some sort of knowledge beforehand that something was going to happen and that they needed to either sell off stock or invest stock. For instance, there were all these people who made millions of dollars after they had initiated put options and bought up all of this airline stock days before the planes hit. And it was just so obvious what they were doing. You know, it's things like that that make you kind of sit back and say, okay, use your common sense here. Traders on Wall Street are masters at utilizing inside information and will do so anytime they receive such information. So read up on it. I won't waste any more time in this video, but read up on all of the strange stock market activity that occurred in the days leading up to 9/11 and find out who these people were who made millions of dollars from these towers coming down. So that may be what this Nazi gold mine may have to do with in relating to all of the money that was made and or stolen in the chaos of the 9/11 attacks. So let's go to the next image, which features a jet engine, of course. I don't think I have to relate to you the connection between jet engines and 9/11. So let's go to this photograph here, which is basically interpreted as a man melting steel. And if you've done any investigations into the 9/11 conspiracy, you'll know that one of the biggest smoking guns was the fact that the steel beams of the World Trade Centers were brought down to begin with. I mean, it shouldn't have happened, and it had never happened before in the history of these heavily fortified steel beam crisscross structures. I mean, it just didn't happen. Buildings did not collapse from fire, and they were specifically built to withstand being hit by a jumbo jet. So when the World Trade Centers fell, and you literally had steel beams that were melted after reaching these unbelievably high temperatures, and were basically just turned into liquid. And there's video showing liquid steel glowing and dripping from the rubble. And of course, architects and experts have pointed out that this would not have occurred from simple jet fuel burning. It would have not gotten hot enough. Hence, there had to be another source of heat that would have heated up these steel beams to a point where they would collapse like pancakes. And so we have this very cryptic image here of a man melting steel. And when you actually look up this photograph, and we talked about this yesterday, it links to an article from the Whitman Air Force Base website, and the article is titled, "Keeping Structures Strong." And the man in the photograph was identified as Staff Sergeant Adam Boyd, who is part of the 509th Civil Engineer Squadron Structural Supervisor. And it turns out that this Civil Engineer Squadron not only provides engineering, alterations, construction, fire protection, but is also used for disaster response and explosive ordnance disposal services. And you're seeing that here from the website. And so, of course, another very eerie connection to 9/11. We have a man welding, and it's linked directly to disaster response and explosive ordnance. So, obviously, I'm not saying that this is 100% definitely about 9/11, but as I'm sure many of you have noticed throughout this video and looking on your own, that is the direction that the puzzle pieces are taking us. And they all seem to connect. And it's also been pointed out that if this was, say, something about Hillary and her email servers or something like that, why would WikiLeaks not have already released it as soon as they got a hold of the information? Which is what they've done every single time before. They have released so much damaging evidence, specifically against Hillary Clinton, and they never held any of it back. So there's also a question of why is WikiLeaks not just publishing what they have? Why are they putting out these cryptic tweets? And it's been said that these tweets are actually being directed to the government as sort of a warning from WikiLeaks, saying, look, we have these secret documents relating to 9/11, possibly who is behind it, and we are going to blow the lid off of this entire cover-up unless you do something. Now, what that something is, I don't know, but it does seem that WikiLeaks is holding back for some reason. And if you guys remember, in 2016, Julian Assange had indicated that 2017 was going to be a very explosive year. So that's where we are at this point, and it's been said that either all or one of these men is on the run. Their back is up against the wall. Some people have been speaking about how Julian Assange is already dead and that WikiLeaks has been taken over by the CIA. Now, of course, there's no substantial evidence to this, but it is believed that possibly they are feeling pressure from the government, and whatever this Vault 7 is, it could be a dead man switch. It could be something that they are threatening to release if the government does not back off. I will continue to follow this, so thank you guys for stopping by today. Let me know your take down in the comments, and as always, share, like, and subscribe on your way out. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys back in just a bit.